So I just wanted to take a moment to go over the fact that I am hosting a live event on Monday. The event starts Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So figure out what time that is for you. But I'm in Central Time, so that's going to be 6 o'clock here. And it's going to be for 1 hour. Then we're going to go ahead and go into day 2 and day 3. It's a 3-day live event for 1 hour each day. And I'd love for you to be there. So just give me a second to get some more information about the event. It is going to be called the Breakthrough Blueprint, or the Breakthrough Boot Camp. I have not been able to say that all week, y'all. So it's a Breakthrough Boot Camp, and it's about how to finally break through to the business you know you are meant for, even if fear, overwhelm, and old patterns keep getting in the way. So register for that today. The link will be in the comments. And again, that starts Monday, March 31st at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You must register for the event in order to attend. There are also going to be some things that I'm going to be giving away to attendees. Of course, you would have to attend to get the bonus, and you would also have to stay to the end. So for those of you who want to get the most out of this experience, then just go ahead and click that. You'll get some emails telling you how to register, or once you register, confirming that you have registered. And it will also email you every day just to kind of make sure that you have your calendar cleared, that you're ready for the event, and make sure that you have your time right and everything like that. So for the bonus, I am considering, you know what? I think I'm actually going to save this, and I'll release that in a text kind of format on Facebook, in the Facebook group and on Facebook. But there are going to be 2 or 3 bonuses that are going to be given to those people who stay till the end. Okay, so mark your calendars, March 31st, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for figure out what that means for you. And I hope to see you there if you are ready to start making some massive changes in your life and start moving forward towards the things that you want to do. If you are not a member of my Facebook group, please make sure that you comment and let me know that you would like an invitation. And or you can, if you're on Facebook, you can direct message me and provide me with your email address. Okay. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about negative belief systems and how they are created by the subconscious mind and what you can do about it. You know, this stemmed from a conversation I had with a fellow healer today. We were talking about, you know, our experiences and all that. And, you know, that people tend to think that hypnosis, which is what I do, I am a subconscious mindset hypnotherapist. So I help people transform their lives through the use of hypnosis, but also through some of the other techniques that I'm going to go over with you today. Why do I do that? Because your subconscious mind is like 88 to 92% of your behavior. It's how you see things in the world. It's how you react to things in the world. It's how you show up in the world. And so if there is an issue or there's a blockage that you're experiencing and you don't understand why, it's probably a program or a negative belief system that is already installed in your subconscious mind. So have you ever wanted to do something, but no matter how hard you try, something invisible seems to pull you back? It's not laziness. That's your subconscious mind running the show. So this matters to the people that I help. I help entrepreneurs. I help high achievers. I help anyone who feels stuck despite all the things that they're doing right, okay, or that they want to do. And so this applies to you if you fall in that category. Of course, negative beliefs apply to anyone, and the subconscious mind and how it works applies to anyone. But specifically what I'm going over today is going to help those of you who are hitting roadblocks and finding it difficult to achieve the goals in your business or in your life that you would like to achieve. Now, the subconscious mind begins to get programmed the moment that you're born. We are only born with a couple, maybe a few normal things that are installed in us, as soon as we get it. It's like your cell phone. When you get your cell phone in the package and here it comes, it's got its stock stuff that it does, that every cell phone does. But then as you put your apps in and as you train it to conform to who you are, then it starts to become more suitable for your life and the life that you are participating in. The same thing happens in our subconscious mind or in our minds in general. You will hear us often refer to the mind as like a computer. We use words like programming, right? Because what you're doing when you're either watching TV or having a conversation or experiencing an experience in life, you're actually downloading information and storing it on the hard drive. You're storing it in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is there so that you don't have to keep all of the things. Like, could you imagine if every single day you had to relearn how to back the car out of the driveway? Could you imagine if every single day you had to reteach yourself how to eat? The subconscious mind is there as the hard drive. It's there where you install the programs that you need to run seamlessly in the background. Unfortunately, you don't get to necessarily pick and choose which programs are put there until you're conscious of them and you understand how that's done. And I'm going to tell you that today. So between the ages of 0 and 7, roughly, because that changes for depending on the person, depending on the environment, you are in hypnosis. You are in an alpha brainwave state. You are highly suggestible. That's what we call a person who's in hypnosis. It doesn't mean they're in a trance. It doesn't mean they're going to bark like a dog if we ask them to. It means that we can make suggestions and they will bypass the critical mind, which I'll explain to you on the board if I haven't already. I think I probably have, but they will bypass the critical mind and they will be implanted or programmed into the subconscious mind. So there could be things, traumatic events that have happened to you in life, things that trauma isn't always like rapes or horrible car accidents. Trauma is anything that hurts really bad, right? So, or that influences your programming in a way that is dysfunctional in your environment. So, for example, this is an example that I use quite often, is let's say you're a child, 5 years old, and you're walking down the street and you come across a dog and the dog is growling and it's like dripping with like saliva and it's like, and you're like, oh my God, you freak out and you run away and the dog starts chasing you. When you grow up, you may feel, this is just a general example, that dogs are scary and I don't want anything to do with them. And you might jump on top of a chair if you see one. Whereas someone who, as a child, had a pet at home, had a dog in the house, and knew that they were playful and they were fun, that person will grow up and like dogs. They will just have a propensity towards dogs because they know that they're a pleasant thing, they're a companion, they love them. So you have two different people with two different experiences creating programs in their subconscious mind about how to view this thing that is in front of them. And one of the examples that I have here is that a belief like I'm not good enough or money is hard. That's a good one. Or success means burnout. They will get imprinted into the subconscious mind through experiences as a child. And, as a child, let's say, for example, your parents fight a lot about money. Okay, let's just say that's your experience. And so you grow up thinking money equals stress. Why? Because they probably didn't fight about money once. It probably wasn't just like a one-off thing. It was probably something that you had to live through and experience in a repetition, in a repetitive cycle. So over time, the more something gets reinforced and reinforced and reinforced, we believe it to be true. What we don't realize is that the thing that we were exposed to that was repeating over and over and over again was just in our environment. That doesn't mean that is the end all be all. That's how it is. It's not like that for a lot of people. One of the things that I teach is mindset, specifically subconscious mindset, because I teach it on a subconscious level. I don't just teach you, hey, here's the mindset and wait for a shift. I use neuro-linguistic programming. So I use the words that create the shift in your psyche through subconscious means. So I forget what I was going to say. So let's just move on. So these beliefs or this subconscious mind, it runs 88 to 95% of who you are. A lot of the times you have no idea the beliefs, the negative thoughts, the programs that you have installed in your subconscious mind because they were done at such a young age before you could use your critical mind to reason whether it was right for you or not. And so you just allowed that suggestion to enter in with no critical thinking, and it's been implanted in there ever since. And so when you get to be older and you conceptually or consciously learn something different or something new, something that's working for everybody else, and then you go and you attempt that and it doesn't work, you think there's something wrong with you. You think that you're a failure. You think that, well, for some reason, I just can't make friends, or for some reason, I just can't exceed this income bracket, or for some reason, I just can't have healthy relationships. If you see that something is not working that you desire to work, it's important for you to start exploring the subconscious mind, okay? Your subconscious does not give you what you want. It gives you what you believe. And if you don't know what those beliefs are in your subconscious mind, you are creating a mountain, Mount Everest, in front of yourself, and you're trying to climb up and keep sliding back down. Okay? Your subconscious gives you what you believe. Change your beliefs, change your life. So, what can you do to reprogram your subconscious mind? I'm going to give you, I think I have 4 things here. Yeah. I'm going to give you 4 things that I personally use to help people shift their subconscious beliefs and their mindset ultimately. The most effective tool in my tool bag, yeah, is hypnosis. Hypnosis is not dangling a string in front of somebody's face and telling them that they're getting very sleepy. Okay, and this is where I'm going to explain the critical mind to you. So let this represent your mind. And it's divided. I said earlier that you come in with things that are already pre-programmed in you, like when you first get a new cell phone. And those are fight, flight, and freeze. Fight, flight, and freeze. Okay. There's fawn, but fawn is adaptive. It's not something that you come in with. And so up here is, this marker is terrible. Up here is your conscious mind. This is where you have all your willpower, right? This is where you exchange where you're at in your environment. I can never spell this when I'm in a live. So I know that's not how to spell it. I can spell environment, but I just can't right now. So, okay. So anyway, so this is, like 95% of your behavior, your beliefs, everything else. And this is about 5%. And that's rough. Okay. At around 8 to 12 years old, you start developing and making this stronger. This is your critical mind. This is the part of your mind that says, I don't know if I want to believe that, or that's bullshit. Yeah, I'm not going to allow the information that comes in through the environment past my critical mind, and I'm not going to allow it to create a belief in my subconscious mind. Well, guess what? Between the ages of 0 and roughly 7, you don't have the ability to say, do I want to believe that? You just are in hypnosis. You're in an alpha brainwave state, a very slow, suggestible state where anything your parents or anyone tells you, if there's not anybody there to give you something else to believe, or if you can consistently keep experiencing it over and over again, it becomes what's called a known in your subconscious mind. This is why we see people who are in destructive relationships, toxic relationships, abusive relationships, stay with the person that they are with, because they have been repetitively in a cycle for so long that it starts, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it doesn't feel good, and they actually really don't want that, it becomes comfortable. It's the comfortable that I've been talking about a lot lately. It becomes a known, something that you are familiar with. And your subconscious mind is way more comfortable with something that's familiar than it is with something that we call the unknown. Right? So let's say that you struggle with weight. Maybe you struggle with the way that you eat, or maybe you struggle with something like alcohol, or whatever your thing is. It may be that when you were younger, let's say you were crying and you were sad and you were upset, maybe your parents or one of your parents offered you a cookie or some ice cream to help you feel better. And when they did that, they didn't realize that what they were doing was reinforcing a coping mechanism of eating when I am not happy, and it will make me feel better. Of course it does. It creates endorphins and it creates dopamine. So it's going to make you feel better. So if your coping mechanism is to turn to food when you're not feeling well, it's likely because that program was installed when you were younger. Okay. Earlier, I was just now talking about dysfunctional relationships. If you grew up in a dysfunctional relationship and that's all you've ever seen with your parents, then you would think that that's what's known, that's what's comfortable. Whenever you say to the universe, to God, please bring me a better person, please, I deserve more, I want better for myself. You can have that, but when that person comes to you, you're not going to be prepared for that experience, because you have a program inside of you that feels safe in the dysfunction. And so what you would have to do is go to therapy, see a hypnotherapist, whatever, to install new programs and take something that is unknown, like healthy relationships, and make it a known. So it's now comfortable and you can now fabulously have it. Okay. So how does this apply to people who follow me? I work with entrepreneurs. I work with people who want to be entrepreneurs. I work with people who are struggling to create the business that they love, and they don't understand why nothing is working, and they so desperately want to have an impact in this world. But for some reason, it's not working. And they're trying to do all the things that everybody else that is successful is doing, but those aren't working, and they don't understand why. Why? Because there is a program in your subconscious mind, probably several of them, that are preventing you from having the belief that what you want is possible, and understanding the mindset that comes with executing properly. Because a lot of times it's not even what you're doing, it's who you're being. Okay. So that's hypnosis, and that's a brief example of how it works. All right. I use hypnosis to help clients release buried stories and plant new truths. Find out what your story is, write it down. This is my life story. This is how it always goes. I can't get away from it. This is how it is. In that story, you'll be able to locate negative belief systems. Okay? Find them, pull them out, put them on the stage, observe them, see what your belief systems are. You will see everything that's holding you back. And then I want you to create a new story. Another way that you can combat these negative programs or negative beliefs that have been installed and programmed into you at a very young age, and let's also just make a note that belief systems can be created throughout life. They don't just happen in between the ages of 0 to 7. What the subconscious mind understands is 1, symbols, and 2, repetition. So if you experience something as an adult over and over and over again, everybody knows you touch a fire, you touch a stove, you're going to get burned, right? You're not going to keep doing it. And so that kind of protective mechanism is installed in us. And it's like, okay, if I experience this once, that sucks, right? Let me see if I do it again, if it'll have the same result. Oh, I just had that result again. That must mean X, Y, and Z. Now, maybe a little bit later down the line, you accidentally experience that thing again, and it solidifies it in the subconscious mind. Like, I'm never doing that again. This always happens, never always. It's not that thing is happening to you because something is defective within you, or you're just destined to have this negative thing happen to you. It's because you have a belief in your subconscious mind that's inviting that experience over and over and over again. Okay. And you can apply that to anything: money, relationships, business, friendships, relationships with your family. I mean, all the relationships across the board, all of the money issues or career issues across the board. Okay. Weight issues, self-esteem issues, everything is controlled by the subconscious mind. Okay. The third thing I have here is identity shifting. It is really, really powerful work. We use this in the program to help our students reach goals that are so big and beautiful, things they want so bad, things that they have been not able to achieve. We do that through identity shifting. And so you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So in order to have this thing that you want, you have to become the person who that person would be to have that, if that makes sense. So it requires an identity shift. You would ask yourself, who is the version of me that already has the result? What does he or she believe? How does he or she show up for themselves or for their goal? Okay. And then you want to create daily practices that reinforce, like we just talked about, speak the language of the subconscious mind, that reinforce whatever it is that you are moving towards. How do we reinforce? One of the ways that you can do that, and I'm just going to give you one because I'm out of time already. I don't know where the time goes, is through affirmations, if you do them the right way. Simply writing down the things that you want and saying them like a robot every day, that's not an affirmation. An affirmation is something that you have proof of that it's possible in your reality. So anytime you create an affirmation, look for proof that it's actually happened in your environment, and then focus your attention on that. And then the last tool that I use to help my students and my clients move forward is obviously mindset work. Ongoing awareness plus challenging your thoughts, right? Continuously having a conversation with someone who is listening. They are present with you. They are absorbing your beliefs. They are absorbing your outlook, your philosophy on life, and then they're challenging it by other things that they know to be true. Okay. I, as a mindset coach, know ways to trigger shifts within your mindset. Why? Because I've had to change my mindset, and I have come from where you're coming from. And I knew the mindset shifts that had to take place in order for me to do it. And nobody ever told me about this, right? So I had to figure them out on my own. And once I did, my entire life changed. Okay. Journaling, mirror work, and visualizations, incredibly powerful. If you are not journaling, get a journal. There are so many different things you can do with a journal to shift your mindset. One of the things that I'm going to offer to you that you may not feel like is a big deal, I'm going to offer it to you. And this is at the end of the day or in the beginning of the morning. It really depends on you personally. Make sure you are data dumping. Your brain is a hard drive, it's a computer, it can only take so much. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling anxiety, it is because you are not processing the information at a level or speed that is optimal for your program, right? You need to reboot your program. So do a data dump, get all the stuff out of your brain onto a piece of paper, and then you'll be able to see it, organize it, understand it, and process it. Okay. Mirror work, looking in the mirror and saying what is going to happen or what is already happening for you, saying it to yourself out loud. Doesn't matter who hears you. As a matter of fact, the more people that hear you, the better. And then, of course, visualization, which is what we use in hypnosis, and that is really going into a sensory experience inside of your body and teaching your subconscious mind what you wanted to experience. Your results will always rise to meet the level of your subconscious identity. So just to recap, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. You're not a failure. You're not broken. You can do it. You're just running on an old program, but you can change it. If you want help with this, you can direct message me. You can email me at kristen@soultherapytct.com, or you can give me a call, and that information will be in the link in the comments below. Also, if you want to make a shift next week, if you want to finally, you're done with it, you're over it, you want to change now, come to the event. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are not in Eastern Standard Time, please figure out what time zone that is for you or what the time is. On Monday, we're starting a 3-day live event, prizes, homework, shifts, big things happening. I hope to see you there. Now I'm going to check to see if y'all have any questions.